Hi, this is Simon Saltzman, Outer Critics Circle president, and you are listening to Dave's Gone By.
Here on the 14th Annual Total Theater Tony Show, we've got one of our oldest and best friends, someone who's been live in the studio with us doing these Tony shows, and who's with us every year. We're thrilled to have the president of the Outer Critics Circle, Simon Saltzman, with us. He's also a critic for CurtainUp.com and US 1 newspapers. Simon, welcome back once more to the neighborhood.
Well, thank you. It's a great pleasure to rejoin you as ever. We're old friends, and we've shared many a theatrical experience together.
Right, we even went to Ireland together, all of us.
But you don't want me to recall that, because there's some questionable experiences there regarding some sheep, but we don't want to go there.
Definitely not. What we want to do is talk about the theater, talk about the big category of Best Musical.
I always object to the word best. I don't like that. As you know, as president of the Outer Critics Circle, we're celebrating our 68th annual awards. We say outstanding, and there is a considerable difference. Best is not something that I like to think of in these categories, but there are shows that are outstanding, and there's those shows that we consider, that we deem as the most outstanding. But anyway, that's a moot point.
It's really semantic
again, about the Outer Critics Circle. We had the most amazing party this year. It had been for 68 years on a Thursday, and we have it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We have the 3 to 4 cocktail hour, and, you know, the red carpet and the step and repeat, which is very exciting as the celebrities and winners arrive. And then from 4 to 6, we have the presentation of awards, and everybody's out. I mean, well before curtain time, and we have all the actors who are winners get their awards up front. So between 4 and 5, all those actors who are appearing in shows will have gotten their awards, and if they have to leave early, they can leave early.
That's cool.
So it works out beautifully that way. We had 4 presenters. You know, our presenters are always former winners, but we had the great Jim Dale. He's won 4 times. The beautiful and talented Christine Ebersole. She won for playing Big and Little Edie Bouvier in Grey Gardens. Mm-hmm. But this is so funny. She had to read off all 600 composers, I'm exaggerating, of course, for SpongeBob SquarePants, because they won the best music score for the year. She was hilarious. She kept one name after another, and kept a straight face, which, of course, made it funnier than you'd ever imagine. But anyway, we also had Martha Plimpton. She won for Coast of Utopia. Her parents, by the way, met in Hair.
Oh.
So she was a presenter, and as was Jen Colella, who won last year. She plays the airline steward, and that is the pilot in Come From Away.
Right.
But, best of all, winners was Tina Fey. She accepted for Outstanding Book for Mean Girls, and she was hilarious. And she was seen at her table writing her thank you notes before she came up. I mean, she's a genius. She's unbelievable. She had us in stitches. Nathan Lane, who won for playing Roy Cohn in Angels in America, came up and made a few pithy remarks. He's terrific. I was terrific as the MC, by the way.
Oh, sure. I'm sure you were. Can people see it? Did you tape it? Because I know the Drama Desk has been taping and streaming and broadcasting their awards.
It is. I know
year.
a couple of the websites, Theater Mania or Theater Present. I think if you Google or whatever you do, I know it was Richie Rich does record it, and I know there were some websites there recording.
But if people Google, they might be able to find the 2018 Outer Critics Circle Awards, which happened just a couple of weeks ago. So that's the Outer Critics Circle Awards, which treats Broadway and off-Broadway. But let's get back to Broadway and the Tony Awards. And the category is musical. It's a big one. And the nominees are The Band's Visit, Frozen, Mean Girls, SpongeBob SquarePants.
As you may know, The Band's Visit already won Outstanding Musical last year when it played off-Broadway and was not eligible again under our rules this year in its move to Broadway. It's a somewhat intimate show about a small Egyptian band that gets stranded for reasons too complicated to go into, in a tiny desert town in Israel. It's very different in every respect from the spectacular musicals like SpongeBob SquarePants and Disney's Frozen, with their incredible scenery and special effects. Mean Girls is the outside contender, but it has the wittiest script by Tina Fey and has a cult following, I guess mainly comprised of young women who know the movie intimately.
Right.
It's mostly very silly, but again, also serious about revealing how bullying is a major issue for teenagers in school. And I think it's much, much better than that other teen classic, Grease, which I abhor.
Oh, well, yeah, Grease.
And it seems to stay in the... in my opinion, Frozen, despite its built-in audience of mainly young girls, is a disaster.
Ooh, why?
Yes, it's about sibling rivalry, but also a story so obviously a gimmicky retooling of Disney's most successful film, I guess, in modern times. To be a fully staged musical, they added a dozen or more forgettable songs, lots of corny dance numbers, and some in questionable taste, but don't ask, I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
And I was pretty much bored by this. I guess you'd call it a musical iceberg. I don't think word of mouth is going to be great on this one. But moving forward, I loved SpongeBob for every reason I disliked Frozen. It's funny and charming from the get-go with a terrific leading man, Ethan Slater.
Yeah.
You know, he's been with the show since its inception. I didn't realize that till he told us about this at his acceptance speech.
Yeah.
Now, also, all of the spectacle is rooted in the story. Now, for me, it was the best of the lot. But I think that The Band's Visit will win because it's a small show with a small cast, and it can travel well to all the outposts across the country, including where the hell do you live?
I live in Greeley, Colorado, Simon.
Right,
you know
that.
that.
You know critics are no longer invited to vote in the Tonys. Only theater owners, bookers, union reps, and others who obviously want a show with great commercial prospects to win.
Well, I think you gave us the info. It sounds like if you were a Tony voter, you would vote for SpongeBob, but you think that the voters will vote for The Band's Visit.
I think so. I think SpongeBob is going to be just too costly and difficult a show to mount on the road, except major cities, you know, where they've done things like Phantom of the Opera and Les Mis and blah, blah. I think The Band's Visit can be a gold mine. You know, audiences are divided. I mean, it has a gorgeous score.
Yeah.
But it's a slow-moving, very thought-provoking, but unspectacular show. Intimate in every sense of the word. So I think The Band's Visit is going to win, but I don't know if it's going to be a great commercial success.
Well, I think if it keeps running a little longer on Broadway, it doesn't seem like that expensive a show to produce. It will probably recoup.
I suspect you're right. Interestingly, I was not thrilled by it off-Broadway, and I thought it was gorgeous when it moved to Broadway. I don't know whether I was just slowly captivated by it, whether I had to get into the mood, but it's very different from any other show. You had asked me about my favorite shows off-Broadway. Missions, that was a brilliantly written play by Joshua Harmon that pits progressive perspectives against conservative values as it applies to college applicants. And in particular, one volatile family. I mean, it was just riveting and so well written. Now, also the musical Desperate Measures was my favorite musical this year on and off Broadway.
Wow.
Adaptation of Shakespeare's Measure for Measure. It was done at the York Theater, developed and presented there. And now it's reopening for an indefinite run at the world stages. So I hope it's a success. Word of mouth is going to be great on that. And it's set in a western town, and sort of like a Jewish Destry Rises Again. So let's put it that way.
I think maybe 3 people in our audience will understand the reference to that.
Anyway.
Simon, it's always an absolute pleasure and a delight having you on our Tony Show and bringing you into the neighborhood. Remember, folks, that you can read his reviews at both curtainup.com and his blog, Simon Sees. Simon, I wish you best of health and more great theater in the year ahead.
Best of good health and continued beautiful work in this wonderful field.
Thank you, man.
Bye-bye now.